Greetings. Today we continue our study in the book of 1 Peter chapter 4 in verses 1 through 6. The title is The Present Warfare. This is part number 3. We begin today with the literal translation of verse 2. For the purpose of the same thing, to the lust of the men, but to the will of God to live the remaining part in flesh. In the final verse of 2 Timothy 2, verse 26, we find this declaration, and that they may recover themselves out of the snare of the devil, which are taken captive by him at his will. So I asked, does this verse not say that you and I can become, like others have become, ensnared in the snare by the devil and held as prisoners of war until God effects our release? More than one of the kings which God allowed to reign over Israel and Judah was, quote, left alone by God to see how they would do when tempted by Satan and his devices. Failure was the common outcome. 1 Corinthians 10:11 says, now all these things happen unto the end for in samples or examples, and they was written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come. Wherefore let him that thinketh he standeth take heed lest he fall. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer or allow you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make literally the way to escape, that you may be able to bear it. There is always a way to escape every trial which God allows to be sent our way. This is a true fact, and yet we are taken captive by the enemy on occasion. I submit that the way to escape is always to go boldly to the throne of grace and find grace to help just in the nick of time, as described in Hebrews 4:14 through 15. Where it says, seeing then that we have a great high priest that is passed into the heavens, Jesus, the Son of God, let us hold fast our profession. For we have not a high priest which cannot be touched with the feelings of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin. Let us, writers included with those he's writing to, believers, therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need, or just in the nick of time. Jesus, our supreme example, overcame every trial and temptation of life. Therefore, we can go to him for guidance, strength, and grace, but we do not always do so. Sometimes it is the fact that the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Sometimes it's selfish pride which causes us not to seek and ask for help from God. And we lose the battle and become prisoners of war instead of victors in Jesus. 1 Peter 4:3 literally says, for a sufficient time to us, the one having passed by and remaining passed by of the life, to accomplish yourselves the will or desire of the Gentile nations, having followed and continuing to follow yourselves in lasciviousness, lust, excessive debaucheries, carousing, binge drinkings, and unlawful covetous idolatries. So Peter asserts that a certain part of any sinner's past life was spent following the worldly pattern and committing those things which fulfill the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, as they are enumerated in the book of 1 John chapter 2 and verse number 16.